When I pose the question, are narcissists demonic? You gotta understand that I understand that not everybody believes in demons, that a lot of people actually believe that demons are real beings, spiritual beings, and they have attributes, they have personalities, and they have things they do. And coincidentally, those things they do are kind of like narcissists. So we're going to raise the question, are narcissists demonic, or are they influenced by demons, or can they be demon possessed? Or is it possible that narcissism is an expression of demon possessions? But I also understand there are a lot of people who see demons not as real entities, but only in an allegorical sense. But still, they understand what they are. They understand the biblical perspective of demons, so it really doesn't matter if you believe in them or not for this presentation. They both apply, either view. Now, I'm going to stay neutral on this. I'm going to kind of be like Switzerland and stay out of that argument. If you want to discuss it, that's why we have a comment section. Please tell us your view. Do you think demons are real or not? But even if they're not, still the allegorical demons, their traits are the same as real demons, however you want to view it. And so the question we're going to pose, and the answer is, yeah, they actually are. Demonic, maybe not demon possessed, but they are demonic in their attributes, and we have 8 ways that demons are demonic. 8. Now, these are based upon the biblical perspective, not the Hollywood perspective, because the Hollywood perspective is, whatever they want it to be. Whoever the script writer happens to be, he'll just put his own junk in there and, his impression. So let's take a look at these. Number 1 is narcissists are very proud. Now, the biblical perspective, according to most theologians, and I know different theologians have different perspectives on this, but most of them believe that how did demons originate? Well, they believe that there was this guy named Lucifer. He was like the, I don't know how you want to phrase it, but he was like the archangel of archangels. He was the head angel of all the angels, and coincidentally also happened to be a musician. Not that that matters to what we're talking about, but in pride, he decided that he wanted to displace or dethrone God, and he would be like God. And so he stirred up a rebellion among all the angels rather in heaven. How many are there? Nobody knows. Trillions, billions, millions. I don't know. There's a lot of them. But he convinced a third of them to join his rebellion, and as a punishment, God kicked him out. Kicked him out of heaven. Where did they go? Well, apparently they went to planet Earth. Now, when that happened, there's a lot of different opinions on that. Was it before or after Adam and Eve were created? Who knows? But that is the story. And the story is that these people, no, they're not people, these angels, these fallen angels, now referred to as demons, are very proud, because it was in pride that Satan lifted himself up. It was in pride that the angels lifted themselves up, the rebellious angels lifted themselves up, and as a result of that, they fell down to earth. They were kicked out. That pretty much mirrors the personality traits, or one of the traits of people who are narcissists. They're very proud. And because of their pride, they tend to hurt themselves, most narcissists that I know, covert narcissists, with a very few exceptions, and there are some exceptions, but most of them live miserable lives, They, because of their pride, a lot of these people won't have a job. They could, but they won't. That they basically hurt themselves. You've heard that saying, the guy is his own worst enemy, and then someone else comes along and says, well, not as long as I'm alive. But yeah, the fallen angels, the demons, are their own worst enemies, and narcissists are their own worst enemies, and it's all because of their pride. So that takes us to point number 2, and that is they left their first estate. So they're homeless. They had a home, it was heaven, according to the biblical narrative, or the way the theologians explain it. So they were kicked out of heaven. Now they have a new home, but they're not happy with their home, and so they're always looking for a dwelling. And that explains why we have haunted houses. Theorizing here, I I don't have any research to back this up, but the reason they go from house to house and they like to occupy the house is because they are still looking for a place to live, because they just feel homeless. Now, if you look at any demons in the New Testament, what we find is, well, they tend to live in caves. In other words, they don't have a permanent dwelling. They go from place to place. And not just their habitat, but also that is why they will look for a dwelling place in people and possess humans. And so those humans who are open to demons, the story goes, they will possess them. Well, you can't possess people forever because they don't live forever. So, you have to go from person to person. So they've spent these millions of years or thousands of years, whichever eschatology you apply. And they spend their whole lives going from person to person. That's what narcissists do. I mean, most of the ones that I know, they don't have a permanent place. I know of narcissists who constantly are being evicted if they convince somebody to rent them a place to live. But typically, what they will do is they will somehow convince people to give them a place to live in exchange for something else. They have this hard down on their luck story, and they'll convince somebody to let them live in a spare bedroom, live in a basement. I had a guy live in my office for like 3 years. Yeah, I'm actually just that gullible. So stop and think about it. If that guy was demon possessed, I had demons living in my office for 3 years. And, listen to the guy snore at night because he slept in my office and I had a video camera, security camera. Yeah, I would kind of swear up and down that was an unearthly tone coming out of that guy. But they left their first estate. They're constantly moving around. And this guy, in particular, he was always shopping for real estate. Didn't have 2 dimes, didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. But, I mean, he often would ask me to take him to look at property, at a house, at, just land or whatever. In my experience, dozens of times, not exaggerating, and, he did it with other people. He'd have other people take him to look at houses. It's almost as if the demons inside of him were looking for a place to stay. But what if you don't believe in demons? Well, that's still the allegorical demon, same thing applies. So number 3 is particularly Satan, Lucifer, who is later called Satan, according to most theologians, was an angel of light. He fakes it. He puts on as if he is something that he is not, and that's how he deceives people. That is a direct analogy or reflection, I should say, of a narcissist. Everyone that I've known is an angel of light. I've never met a narcissist who said, I'm a narcissist, I'm a bad person, I scam people. No, I mean, that's what they do. They are bad people, they do scam people, but that's not the way they present. They present themselves as the good guy. They present themselves as the helper. They present themselves as the one who cares about you during the love bombing stage, so they lure you into their sphere. Yeah, that's satanic. Number 4 is they are deceitful. So, Satan is presented as the liar. Ultimately, God is true, the Bible says, and in him there is no darkness at all. There's no deceit whatsoever, where Satan is the exact opposite. All he does is deceive people. He's totally, absolutely, positively deceptive. And that's what narcissists do. Their whole life is about deceiving others. Well, all of us do that to some point. But the narcissist, it's almost like he has or she has this compulsion. No choice. They have this compulsion to be deceptive. It's almost like they're being controlled by another spirit being. Okay, let's go to number 5. They are the accusers of the saints, according to the Bible. So we'll just cut that short and say they're accusers. Satan is identified as an accuser. False accuser. He likes to point out the bad stuff, He likes to make you look bad. Now, this is kind of like the original gaslighter, because not only does Satan, according to the Bible, want to make you look bad to other people by accusing you, by slander through gossip, but he wants to convince you that you are bad, that you are unworthy, that you're a lowlife. That's gaslighting. So they are accusers. So yeah, we can see that connection as well. Number 6 is, we kind of touched on this earlier, but demons are self-destructive. So we read stories in the New Testament about a person who was possessed with demons, a legion of demons. I guess that's 100. I don't know what a legion is. If you know, you can leave it in the comments. I forget. But he would cut himself, you know? Now, if you don't believe in literal demons, you'd say, okay, that's a mental problem. That's neurological, maybe psychological. But that's what demons did, according to the New Testament, is they had this problem where they would harm themselves. They would cut themselves, not just their lifestyle, but literally take a sharp object and cut themselves. So they are self-destructive. What narcissist do you know who is not self-destructive? What narcissist do you know whose life would be much better in every way if he were not a narcissist, if he just a decent human being? Number 7, demons can't change. Never. They are the way they are for all infinity. That seems to be the trait of a narcissist as well. They cannot change. They're just the way they are. I've never known a narcissist to change. Now, maybe you do, but I would say this is kind of like the no true Scotsman argument, but if you know a narcissist who has become a non-narcissist, become humble and, just normal, chances are that was not a narcissist to begin with. But I could be wrong. Maybe narcissists can change. But all I can say is based upon my life's laboratory. 70 years old, nearly, I've experienced a lot of things over the decades. And one thing I have noticed is that, or I've observed, I should say, is I've never known a psychopath or narcissist to change. It's like they're hardwired. It's like it's baked into them from the very beginning. This is the way they came from the factory, and the factory made sure that they can't be tampered with. If you disagree with me, again, you can tell us in the comments. I'd like to hear your point of view. I think everybody would. Then number 8 is narcissists do what I call flipping. So they will say that you are the bad guy, and they are the good guy. They're the hero. You are the villain, and they are also the one who was hurt. So they were the victim. They present themselves as the victim, and you as the victimizer. Well, the way that the Bible presents this, by the way, is not necessarily associated with demons specifically in the Bible, but it says this: they call evil good, and they call good bad. All right, this is the King James version of it. So it says, "Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil. Woe unto narcissists that put darkness for light and light for darkness." That's what narcissists do. They put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Yeah, that's what narcissists do. That's Isaiah 5:20, if you care to look it up on your own. All right. What I want to know is what exactly do you think about all this? Are you convinced, as I am, that whether you believe in literal demons or believe in it in an allegorical sense, but believe as I do that these traits, they're almost identical to narcissist? I'd like to know what you think, so leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let us all know, not just me. 2 rectangles on the screen are there for you. If you want our conversation to continue, just click on one of those 2 rectangles, and we keep hanging out. If not, thank you for stopping by, and see y'all next time.